Greetings, He fans and She Ravers. It's another Masters of the Universe Origins review for you, courtesy of Mattel. They have sent along the Sky Sled and Prince Adam. So the box got a Macho Man elbow drop somewhere along the way during shipping, but still able to take a look at the contents, which don't look like they were smashed at all. They're perfectly intact. And here's a look at the artwork on the top. I'm loving the flap artwork, just like the originals had. There's Trapjaw and Faker, so we haven't seen them yet. Skeletor on the Roton, I think it's called. And there's Prince Adam on a Sky Sled. And over here we've got some of the heroes. Who's this dude? I'm not sure who that is. It kind of looks like Man-at-Arms, his helmet, but there's Man-at-Arms himself and the Wind Raider. And then maybe these are just guards, because those guys are identical. And then on the bottom, over here, didn't even notice this until now, there's Castle Grayskull, Beastman, Merman, Stratos. Some more artwork over here. 2 vehicles in one. And there's artwork everywhere on this thing. We've got Teela over here battling some minion of Skeletor. There's Beastman. This is just an awesome box. Lots of stuff going on here. And more artwork on the back. Man-at-Arms battling Trapjaw. Another one of Prince Adam. Running down Skeletor. And there's Beastman. And similar to the back of the Battle Cat box, all the other figures and vehicles. And a peek at some of the features on here. Looks like we can change the head. That's what the heroes fly, and that's what the villains fly. The snake head for the villains. So that's cool that that's interchangeable. You can buy 2 of these and have basically 2 different Sky Sleds. And then right here it says change Sky Sled into War Sled for the evil warriors. So that's the packaging. Let's open her up. Just like with Battle Cat, there's this nice blue background on here. It comes with a stand. This is a really nice stand. I love the texture on it. It's sandy with some little stone moldings on them. And there's this piece right here that plugs in. I don't know if it matters which way. Yeah, it does. There's only one way you can plug it in. That way. Oh, that way works too. Okay. So you can plug it in either way, whatever your preference. It kind of feels like once it's in there, it's in there. So you might have to try to bend these things out in order to get it out. But for flying vehicles, that's really cool to have an actual flight stand. I've got a couple of those flight stands for G.I. Joe vehicles like the Sky Striker and the Skyhawk, and it looks cool to have a little bit of altitude. Here's the head, the interchangeable head for the Evil Warriors version of the Sky Sled. I'll set that aside for now. Looks like there's a little blast effect here. So let's pull the sled out first. These pieces in behind here look like they go right here. So the villain version has these, kind of looks like, are they dragons? Is this supposed to be, that looks kind of like a dragon too, or it's not a griffin. So we've got the hero version, which I'm going to show off first with a hero figure. And there's this little blast effect here too. Very cool. But the other major inclusion in this set is a Prince Adam figure. So we don't have to wait a few years like we did in the vintage line to get a Prince Adam figure. One is included in here. Man, he's got a pink sword. That is very pink. They're really going for the Filmation look here. With like a dark pink, like a Bret Hart pink vest, and then just like a regular strawberry candy pink sword. He's got the same articulation as the He-Man and the Skeletor figure. The only real difference is this vest, which it looks like it detaches right here at the belt. I believe it should. Or is it glued? So these figures do come apart at the waist, which is just awesome for customization purposes, but it also allows you to check out things like this and possibly avoid breaking them. This looks like it's glued right here. The vest is glued on, so if you wanted to get it off, you can just pull all the arms off, pull off the head, and probably just, well, I don't know. It's going to take a lot more finagling and a hairdryer to get this vest off than I'm going to put into it right at the moment. But this is really fun, being able to just do this. Take a figure apart, put them together. That's really awesome. And I'm going to do a couple of comparisons before I mount this guy on his sky sled. First of all, I want to take a look at how he looks beside the most powerful man in the universe, his alter ego He-Man. There's no spot on his back to hold his sword, so he's not going to be able to pull it from his back like he did on the show. I wanted to mention, because of the vest, it does hinder his shoulder articulation a little bit. He's not able to go straight up like He-Man was able to. And the sword is popping out a little bit. The hairdryer trick might help with that. But it looks like it's the exact same arms as He-Man. It's just painted differently. Does he have a different skin tone? I believe he does. Let's take a look here. No, it actually looks identical. So in the cartoon, when Prince Adam transforms, he gets a major tan. But these figures look about the exact same in skin tone. And are the heads identical? It looks like the blonde on the hair is just slightly different on Prince Adam. And I don't think the camera is really going to pick that up. But I can tell you just from my eye, this looks a little... it's just a different shade of yellow. It's more of a, I don't know, like a banana yellow, lemon yellow. I'm not sure. It's just slightly different, but very, very similar. Kind of looks like the exact same head, same face sculpt. So that's Adam alongside the new Origins He-Man, and got to compare him to the original version. And a huge advantage the Origins version has over the original is that he can stand on his own, and my original one can't stand on his own, thanks to the lack of rubber bands. It's kind of funny, like, Adam needs that pose just as much as He-Man, the holding the sword up and transforming by the power of Grayskull, but the vest is stopping him from doing it. That's too bad. I wonder, I know there's reproduction vests for Prince Adam. You can find them around the internet on eBay. Sometimes they pop up there. I wonder if one of these would work better on him if you're able to get this vest off. Maybe you just don't care and you'll tear it off and pull it off. But it's too bad he's not able to do that. Like, he can, sort of, but he's definitely hindered there. And that's an important joint right there. There should have been a little bit more clearance there. Still looks good. The legs look almost identical here. It's almost the exact same shade of lavender tights and fuzzy breeches. They got the same type of coloration on the boots with the white top. Got the white shirt. Yeah, I've always liked the vest on the original Prince Adam. Really like this, whatever material this is called, this kind of velvety maroon coloration to it. It catches the light so beautifully. Was never a fan of this belt that they used on the original one because it always wore out and you had to tie it like this at the back to tighten it up, and they would break and lose their elasticity as this one is But I guess they've solved that by not having it be a separate piece and just gluing it. So I don't know if that's a step up or maybe just a step sideways. The swords are almost the same color. The original one just seems a tiny bit darker. They look exactly the same on camera, but in person, the vintage one is just a little more purple, and this one is just pure pink. So let's take a look at the Sky Sled now, and we'll pop that sword out and see how Adam fits on this Sky Sled. I'm wondering now what else this vest is going to hinder. Cool. I just noticed the foot pegs. So the new Origins figures do have holes for foot pegs to secure them a little bit. And you can pop the one foot in there. You get that satisfying squeak that we have a secure connection. Another one in there. That's all ready. Very impressive. He doesn't even have to be holding on. And the plastic on the hands is nice and bendable, pliable. Oh, I just noticed Adam does not have one opened hand like He-Man does. Both of his hands are gripping hands. So I guess specifically for the Sky Sled. And he's really hunched, bent back there. If you try to correct him, you get a little bit of Bishop play feature from Aliens. Not bad for a human. So he popped out of his waist, and I can see it being a little tricky to get him to fit in all 4 connection points. So he's in there right now. Both legs are in there, both hands are gripping, but it looks like he's really bent back. And maybe I gotta bend the elbow a bit. It's a little almost like a transformer. How do you bend certain things? That looks a lot better. Just bending the elbows a little bit improved the look of it a lot. So that's Adam on the Sky Sled, and the vest does not hinder him at all on there. And some of the features for the Sky Sled, we've got this stand right here that just plugs into there. I wonder if this is also one and done. If once you plug that in there, are you going to be able to get it out? Or is it, it's pretty secure in there. That's nice and secure. It's not going to fall off, but it might give you a little bit of trouble if you try to pull it out, unless there's some sort of a trick to it. Maybe twisting. Oh, there we go. You just got to twist and pull it out. So that's not a big deal. And that's a really, really secure stand. That's very well designed. It's narrow. It's not any wider than the actual vehicle is, but it's nice and sturdy. And it's also great that it allows you to point the vehicle in any direction you want. Not just left and right, but you can be flying back. Look at that. Launching skyward or nose diving. That's pretty neat. And also included is this little blast effect that just fits in the front here, like so. Looks nice. Yeah, that catches the light really nice. Very nice glowing effect on that. And this cannon can also aim left and right. That's an articulation point or a movement point that didn't need to be included at all, but it's so awesome that they threw that in there. Why wouldn't a Sky Sled be able to aim left or right? Doesn't really make sense to only be able to shoot forward at enemies directly in front of you. So, little cool bonus feature there. I like that. And let's see how He-Man fares on this. I'm curious how he's going to look with that open hand on here. So let's pop that on there. And pop a foot on there. Pop one hand. And the other hand, well, it doesn't look too bad, actually. there's enough of a curve there between the pointer finger and the thumb that it has kind of the impression of grabbing onto it. We've got the same problem that Adam had, so you should bend the elbows first before attaching the feet, or you'll just have to redo the feet like I'm having to do again. And there's He-Man on the Sky Sled, so he works great on that too. Quite nice. And before we transform this into the villains version, I wanted to see if the original figures work on it, because it does seem like they're supposed to be backwards compatible. First issue is going to be the originals don't have foot pegs, so he's not going to be able to get his foot nice and flat on there. This hand is a little mauled on this original He-Man. I don't know if this is going to work actually all that well. They figured out a way to deal with this on the vintage Coleco Rambo vehicles, like the motorcycle. These parts actually swung out so that any figure, regardless of the width of their hands and stuff, would be able to fit. But these are stationary, so you see it's not going to work. If you grip one hand, the other hand is too far away. And He-Man in particular isn't going to be able to be like gripping with the one hand and then have the other hand holding a sword or something. You can sort of do it, but it's not quite as backwards compatible as something like Battle Cat is. And before I transform it over to the villains version, I just wanted to do a couple of quick comparisons to the original version and the classics version. It's just like with Battle Cat, the Origins version is quite a bit bigger than the original version. It looks more of a greenish blue. The original one looks more just blue next to the new one. We see the sticker has been faithfully recreated, and I guess that's supposed to be gun detailing there. Original gun on here is just molded in there, separate piece in the new one. The heads are quite different. Yeah, they've really gotten a lot more creative with the head on the newer version, and then the original version didn't actually have handles. So let's take a peek and see how the Origins figure works on the original one. Perfectly. Looks perfect on it. So if you're just curious, once again, the Origins figures are really, really good with the original vehicles. And you don't even have to stick his feet in if you don't want. He's actually quite sturdy on there without plugging his feet in. And a comparison to the classics version, much like with Battle Cat, the classics version is very similar, just a little bit more paint going on. There's like a dark wash and shadowing going on here. Interesting, the classics version also doesn't have silver coloring here. It's more like the original version, but little colored rivets here, not a sticker. This is painted on, and gun detailing underneath there. But they are very similar in size, very, very close. The Origins version is still just a little bit smaller, and different engine thruster detail on the back there. So that's how the new Origins Sky Sled measures up to the vintage ones, which or the classics ones, the ones that plug into an actual battle ram. And hopefully one day we get the battle ram. I haven't mentioned, this is the front part of a battle ram. It is supposed to connect into a battle ram, and it can eject and be a Sky Sled. And it looks like that wouldn't be too hard. This part right here is not painted. This looks like silver plastic, so that would be a major irritant if this was painted and you plug it in to a battle ram and pull it out, and every time you do, you scratch the plastic off. So it seems like they've thought ahead, and this will be perfectly fine to plug into a battle ram and pull out repeatedly without actually damaging it. So that's the hero version, and to transform it over to the villain version, there's really not much to it. You just grab the head and you pull. If it won't come out, just try to wiggle it back and forth, and it'll pop out quite easily. And you stick your thumbs in these little spaces here, if you have thumbnails, and these just come right out. Nice and easy. Doesn't feel like it's going to break. And then you collect the other panels, the alternate head, and your stinker, your villain. Pop in the new panels, and that is really satisfying. I like how smoothly that just plugs in. Head plugs in, nice and secure. It is not coming out, no way. And then you take your villain figure and you can make sure those elbows are bent. If you want to attach the feet into the pegs, plug them in like so, and then attach the hand. And Skeletor's got an open hand too, but it feels like he's got a little bit more grip there. So it actually does hold by that hand. And there you go. You've got the villain version of the Sky Sled. And once again, you can attach it onto this stand and have Skeletor flying around, attacking Eternia and the heroes of Eternia. Nice little extra feature, so that if you buy two, you don't have to have two identical Sky Sleds. You can have a hero version and a villain version. And thanks to the feet plugging in and the slate grip that you have on the one hand, Skeletor is secure enough in there that you can actually have him holding his Havoc staff, casting spells, and you don't have to worry about him falling out of the Sky Sled.
Don'ts!
So that's the new Origins Sky Sled and Prince Adam figure. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments spot below. Thank you, Patreon Tribe, for providing the channel Patreon power. Feel free to share the video if you enjoyed it, and to join the tribe, strafe subscribe. Nerdmas Day.